up, Louise. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another podcast episode.
We've had a delay because we would be one episode ahead if last week went ahead due to a positive COVID result.
Yes, that was me. 241.
241.
Obviously, we missed last week. We're back. So, hello. Yeah. I'm George. That's Connor. Neither of us
in the
ill.
same room. Yeah, yes. We're safe.
It was one of them things of like, the thingy's not set up properly on this, and also I keep losing. Like, I've only got 5 hours of disk space left, so I need to fucking delete something. But I don't know where, because I don't save this. Like, I export it and then I delete it. So fuck knows.
It's in the cloud.
Fuck knows where everything
Arnhem
is.
Zola's in your computer.
Literally. Fraulein. But yes, it was a thing of like, Discord on this. I was like, let's just, leave it. Because I did a 12-hour shift on Sunday.
Oh, good God. Yeah.
Just where there's overtime. I shall rinse it. But I've got an upcoming 1-year-old's birthday party to pay for, so that's the thing.
Fair enough.
So I got to so I started at 6 in the morning and was going through till 6, and then about 3 o'clock suddenly I started going downhill.
Oh.
When you just feel like I felt hot and cold, like I was achy.
Yeah.
Like I just felt like shit. Like as it got further and further along, I was like, I'm fucked. Like I need to go home. Went home. Went to bed.
Did you finish the shift or did you just?
No, I finished. Yeah, I finished
it
because I was like, by the time that I was feeling like proper like fucked, I had like
Bunged up.
an hour left. So I was like, I'm just gonna. And the point, like, we were closed anyway, so I was like, I'm just, I'm
doing nothing. Yeah,
basically
getting paid.
Yeah. And then went to bed. Woke up Monday. And because like basically childcare, I ended up like I had the day off. I was meant to do overtime that day as well. I couldn't because then I had my boy. But like I woke up and I was fucked. Like I felt like I'd been in like a train accident or something. Like I was so achy that I was like, one of them ones I was like, it was so much energy just to get up. But then obviously like I'm looking after like a 9-month-old as well. So like that was like it was a point where like we're downstairs. Like I managed to get downstairs because it was just like I was like I can't fucking carry everything. So I had to then come back up with like all of his stuff and that. And I was like, oh fuck,
What's happened to me?
What happened to time?
How could this happen to me?
The point where like he's playing and then like I feel like I'm falling asleep and he's just like thankfully like hitting me in the face with stuff to like keep me awake.
Wake up! It's the Deadpool Wolverine.
Well, I guess he's not waking up.
well.
And I started to feel like okay, like not like manageable.
You felt manageable.
Yeah, and
okay.
I play football like every Monday night. So like I'd obviously said on the Sunday I was like I'm not feeling great, so you guys carry on. If anyone drops out and I feel alright, like I'll do it. And then someone dropped out, and I was like, please find someone else, please. And then they didn't, so then I went.
Oh no!
But I was like, obviously shocking. But also then I find out on the Tuesday because Lars, one of Lars' mates had tested positive,
right.
And their kids had. So then she was like, "You do one," so I did it. But I was like, it's one of them things where you just stop thinking that that's a thing. Like I was kind of like that hadn't even occurred to me, and then like it came up like red straight away. So obviously because it had been in my system, and it was on the way out. But it was a thing of like, well, obviously I can't do recording with Connor, and it was just a thing of fuck Discord. We'll just like have a thing. I'll recover. He'll watch the 16,000 films that he's seen this week
as much as I can. Yeah.
We're back. So a nice little
split recharge
season.
of some split season. Yeah,
we're Series 6. But how have you been? You been okay?
We've had a big, massive chat on camera about everything. But no, I mean, yeah, I'm all right. Like I say, I've caught up on things.
Because we essentially do like a mini version of this before we do this.
And we think, fuck, we didn't hit the big red button on the computer.
we basically because we have these conversations anyway. So like,
yeah. We're friends, believe it or not. We're not doing this for money.
We're friends.
We are friends.
I mean, if anyone wants to pay us, like, feel free.
Patreon link in the description.
We need that's a goal. That's a goal to be set up by the end of the year for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talk about all like sort of mainly the trivial stuff. Like we'll cover like big things, and maybe we repeat ourselves with the things we'll say like off camera. But sometimes we're just like, it's like, what have you seen? What have you seen? And then we talk about just other stuff that we've like heard or seen out in the fucking world, and we've
even like this week, like today's conversation, books, which is something we like. I kind of dabble in and want to get into a little bit more, and
yeah, I want to get back into reading as well. just because like
I do. I'm on the third Dune book. I need to read that.
third one.
Yeah.
You going through the whole series?
Well, the original 6 Frank Herbert ones, and then if
there's
it ends on a good note, then I'll read
extended ones, aren't there? There's like the extras that are not
exactly
done by him.
because he passed away after the 6th, and then his son and another comic book writer, famous person whose name isn't in my head. They do they do the rest. And they're still going. I think there's X amount of novels. There's loads.
So were they? So there's the sixth. Do you know if like the sixth one happened and it was like there was more story to tell, or the sixth one was like an ending, or was it just a thing of there's more that my dad wanted to do, so that's why the son teams
I
up with
believe
this guy?
I'm not entirely sure. Maybe a combination of option A and B. I think B and
I'd
C.
love to know how the tone changes,
Right. Yeah.
because obviously like his son can only sort of instill
Capture and emulate so much.
yeah, because obviously he's not going to know 100% like what his
dad was
had
thinking
in like in terms of. Because I found it interesting because I saw a TikTok of George R. R. Martin talking about when Game of Thrones came to him.
Okay.
Like he was writing something else, and suddenly suddenly the first line of Game of Thrones was in
just
his head.
there.
So he did it, and then he talks about this, and he like builds out the worlds, and like has the kings, and then there's these other kings. He gets to a point where he's like, I should write down the lineage of like these royals, so I'm not contradicting myself. And then over the course of a few months, he had the entirety of the backstory of the lore of Game of Thrones mapped out as he was writing the book. So it was like as he wrote the story, the lore sort of
created
fed into
itself.
Yeah,
in a way. Yeah,
which I think is like it's a beautiful thing with writing. Like it's what I miss. That's always a thing. Like I need to like my goal has always been to get back into writing more. Like the last 3 or 4 years, I've barely done it. But like there is no greater feeling than sort of having a base idea and then watching
a small
it
tiny idea
into sort of like this is a story, like whether it be like like you map it out as like a single short story or an episode of like an ongoing show,
anthology based,
like
or
your own kind of novel level thing. Like it's so much fun to do. But I'd like to see that kind of thing, because obviously with obviously a completely different circumstance, but with Ian Fleming, he obviously wrote the James Bond books, and then we've had James Bond novels since.
We have. Yeah.
By other people. Most famously for me is the Charlie Higson novels of Young James Bond Adventures, which I really did enjoy, and they were my first sort of gateway into like the literal version of the character.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it was around the time of when you
say young character, I just think young Indiana Jones, but I kind of forget there is a young Bond.
It's a bit of a similar thing. It was like, we have this famous character, we can't tell any of the stories going forward, or didn't want to at the time, so it's easier to go back and build that thing so that he's had adventures,
the expanded
as a
media
young
and backstory.
Yeah. So I'd like to see, maybe you do all those and tell us like after number 6 like how it
originally ended for him. Yeah.
Will they do like all 14 films, do you reckon?
No, so Denis Villeneuve, the director of the Dune Part 1 2 years ago now, he said he wants to do a trilogy. So basically Dune Part 1 but subtitled as Dune for the majority of the marketing. It was only literally as I got into the cinema in 2020. It was part one.
Wasn't it?
Literally, the opening, the whole year, 2021 going in, it was just Dune. And I thought, right, it's the whole book, I'm going to read it. And then I watched the 80s film, and like I say, I've covered it, and the video may be up somewhere in the internet or somewhere on our cloud system. It's somewhere. We'll hopefully get it out before the second half this year.
Yeah,
Dune Part 2.
We'll have to dig it out from the archive.
Essentially, it's one book that he then split. So we've had Dune Part 1, which you may have seen on Now TV. One of the best of that year, incredible experience. And then the second half of that first book is out later this year. And then the director's then said he wants to do the second book as a third movie. And that will kind of, without spoiling and going in, it will kind of cap off most of the characters in that arc, in that through line. There will be a thing. But then
obviously there's still at least the other 4 to do, if you're not counting the stuff beyond.
Yeah,
because we were talking about the Dark Tower, which
randomly,
I remember like when chapter 2 come out, like you'd sort of gone into sort of starting to read that for the first time, and like,
I think I bought the book then, and I barely opened maybe 20 pages, and I thought, oh, it's too big, I'm not going back to it. And then since then, I've got stuff like His Dark Material, which I've still not opened. I've got the Narnia books because they came up recently. I've got Harry Potter. I've only got the Half-Blood Prince and Deathly Hallows left. So they were the reason I sat down and said, right, I'm going to do this, because I just thought everyone I've spoken to, whether it's on camera or off camera, has just kind of been, have you not read Harry Potter? I'm like, childhood, I've always watched the film, and that was literally my sole purpose. It was just one of those, I have to read it.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we think of the franchise today, but it was just kind of I've read the books, I'm a bit late to the game, here we go. And then since, there's been other films that I've catched and, we've both seen that I thought, let's just see how the book turned out. And in some ways, like my first proper Stephen King was The Shining, and that's a great start because both experiences, whether you're talking about the Kubrick film and the book, are different. If you're reading something that's directly accurate of one adaptation, it's not going to be as fun or as engaging, I think, for those that are non-readers.
I think the clue is in the term, adaptation. It's an adaptation. It's not a straight you want the elements that you like, in it. But you also, if it's exactly the same, then you could just go and watch, read, or thing like the other thing. Which is why I think, because we briefly touched on it, and we'll go back to it, with Last of Us.
Yes.
Hardcore video game fans of it are. What did you you've heard a little more disappointment.
A couple people I know personally that other halves have played the game and they've kind of watched the show and kind of gone it's basically, without spoiling the episodes, because I'm planning, when it ends next week, I'm planning to do a full, at least my thoughts, my review of everything that's kind of happened, because I think it's incredible personally. And this is without having I have obviously played both games and completed them, but because I've left it for so long, I'm sort of remembering but rediscovering it in a different way.
Yes.
I'm in that healthy medium, whereas I'm not... If you're completely blind, if you've been on Xbox and PC, if you've not touched the game, that you're not missing out. You're not thinking, fuck, I've got to play it. Yeah. You'll get both gists of the story, whatever medium you do. But I'm not at that point where I'm like a Last of Us nut. That's all I do every day in, day out, so I know every little beat of the story. And if there's little things that are different about why didn't they do this, what about this, why didn't they cut that out, or whatever, I'm in that healthy medium point where the game has been so long ago and it's kind of in the corner of my mind, of the mental multiverse in my mind. It's kind of there, but just in the back. And in rediscovering it in a different lens and a different medium has kind of made me go, one's better, one's not. I'm not having that conversation until I go through the game, and I could have played the game every week, but I'm not going to until the show's finished. And then I'll do some sort of video special on it and go over it in more detail. Yeah. But we're just talking about adaptations. What were you trying to say initially about Last of Us? Or people that we know...
Basically,
gamers
it has to be different for there to be sort of a reason for it to exist, kind of thing. So
the gamers, if you like, are kind of not bashing it or not, because it's got really high scores on Rotten Tomatoes everywhere still.
As it would do, because from what I know of it, quality, well made.
It's HBO.
I'm waiting for it to finish, and then I'm going to do the whole thing. Because you were saying HBO may be your favourite.
At the minute. I mean, after randomly Lovecraft Country, Westworld have got a complete 4K set of all the seasons. Because that ended, didn't it? It got cancelled.
Yeah.
But so there's a 4K
more season?
Planned.
Yeah.
There's 4 seasons. There's a 4K set of all 4 seasons coming out, so I think I'm going to do that. Yeah. I think that's the only way I'm actually going to watch it feasibly, if I buy the whole thing.
It's like with me, I would have, I don't always think about shows ending.
No. They just feel like they never end.
Because realistically, sometimes it's better to just, wait till it ends, buy the whole thing, because it will, as a bulk, it is normally slightly cheaper anyway, and then when the price eventually goes down, it's fucking great.
It's amazing. Yeah.
But for me, I had this Game of Thrones ones singly.
Yeah.
And because every year, because it was, for me, back in my day, boys and girls, you had to wait a year for the Blu-ray to come out, which was normally then the year that the next season would come out. So we get the hype of now I can own it. So, because I bought season 1 for 20 odd quid in HMV, on a break after college, and then went home and watched it, and then immediately went back and bought season 2 instead of, because I didn't want to do, because I hate doing them the sets when there's
1 to 4 and you've got 5, so you have to buy individually.
Yeah. Exactly that. You get my fucking OCD. So
I know.
I never wanted to do that, or the 1, 2, 3. So it was always well, I'll have to do 1 and then 2, because then also it's if I like it, then I'll get the next one. If not, I'll just bring it back and get a refund. And so I had and then I didn't buy season 8 because I was there's no point. But then I've got seasons 1 to 7 that I need to shift in case anyone wants them. Because I bought originally I pre-ordered the Steelbook set. Because that was on Zavi. And
Yeah,
then
I remember, I
cancelled
remember,
that when
yeah.
they actually announced that, here's just the normal standard
Standard
4K
edition.
set. And I was like, that is about £150 cheaper.
Yes,
So I'll go
let's
with
do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, I'll do that with Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, sorry. Like,
Yeah,
depending on
when
how
eventually
long that goes on for.
Yeah, whatever the plan is for that show, yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I want to catch up on that. I need to catch up on Last of Us. Like, I've seen clips here and there. Like, if something appears, like, I'll look at it. Like, I'm not actively seeking it out because I don't want to ruin it. But like, the prosthetics work and the monster work has been like fabulous from all the clips I've seen, and just the bond between those two.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, it's one of those things. Like, she was so young when she was in it. It was
yeah.
kind of like, and also like they kind of used up people, and also I think because of the fact that everyone that was in Game of Thrones, like especially like the younger cast, have not been good in anything other than Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
like
it's true.
Arguably, Emilia Clarke's best role is Daenerys.
Mm.
Maybe Secret Invasion will change that. I
Oh,
severely doubt it.
Will it be a secret? Yeah.
Kit Harington, Spooks was fine.
Yeah,
Pompeii
fine.
was
There, yeah.
and Eternals is like the opportunity for him to do more, hopefully.
Going forward, especially.
Sophie Turner, absolute shambles in X-Men. So,
That's
and
about
Maisie
that.
Williams was kind of used off the fact of she was in Game. Well, obviously everyone was. It got to a point of like they were in Game of Thrones. Let's put it all like
Markability.
mainly for Doctor Who. Like when she was in Series 9, it was like Game of Thrones is Maisie Williams, and then that kind of made the thing of like, yeah, but just because she's in Game of Thrones does not mean
she can do that. It's a
Like,
whole other genre. It's a whole other world.
Yeah, like she's a great actress, but like the fact that she's playing an immortal person, but still looks about at the time like 12 or 13.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're meant to believe that she's lived for hundreds of millennia, mothered many different children, lost children, like and kept a diary of these kind of things just to kind of try and remember because her brains, lived for so long. Sophie Turner for me, my money the worst. Alfie Allen, apart from John Wick, John Wick, I'm struggling to think off the top of my head of
anything that he's been in. No, I can't.
I've seen obviously like the bigger ones, like the adults. They were in big things and then in Game of Thrones, and then they've kind of, because of that, I think you survived that because obviously we know you're a good actor because that's why Sean Bean was picked to be Ned Stark because that was the only person they wanted to play him. Mark Addy's fabulous. Nikolai Coster-Waldau, obviously I had not seen a lot of his stuff.
Other stuff, no. Or even Sense, I don't think. No, stuff escapes me.
Got Exodus, Gods and
Kings,
Kings.
The Christian Bale one.
Christian Bale and
he's in the desert.
Christian Bale against Batman versus Jamie, basically.
Batman versus Jamie.
Not Jamie McCrimmon, Jamie from Game of Thrones. Ooh, when I say run,
in Scotland.
Fraser Hines versus Michael Keaton.
What a match!
What a fucking film. I was like Lena Headey and
Patrick Troughton's The Flash.
Patrick Troughton as the Flash. Don't know. When I say running, and he's running, but the fur, he's in the furry overcoat, but it's red, and there's a lightning bolt on it, and he's playing the flute. I'll take that, thank you. Yes, because then naturally the Valiard would be Reverse Flash.
Yes. Oh my God, that's a joke that turned pretty good for those of you that know.
Yeah, you know, because the Flash. Yeah. Speaking of it, the Flash wrapped this week. This last week just gone.
Actually, did it?
It wrapped filming.
Oh my God.
Because I know Rachel Talalay, who obviously many of you will know more from Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, yeah.
But she did a few episodes of The Flash and I think other CW shows.
Oh, I thought you meant so the series is wrapped, not the film.
The series.
Yes, okay. Series 9, which is still yet to air.
Because we talked briefly about what season 10 would have been, didn't we? And it was that would have been.
It would have been something.
Yeah, because it basically would have ended with the Justice League. That's never a bad thing. What have we got in the old? We got a bit of the old news bank. What have we got? What have we got? Do you know what we have got? Should we do? Might as well do the Marvel stuff first, because do you remember Danny Ramirez? Has been sharing his training photos for
the new Falcon,
Captain America New World Order, which Harrison Ford is definitely sort of confirmed to be in now, because I know it's like it's essentially, it's one of those things where it's taken as
General Ross recast 2.0. Red Hulk, maybe
Maybe.
down the line.
I mean, when he was asked about why he's in it, it's just because like
I'm
everyone's had a fun time with it, so try it out.
Yeah.
Um,
It definitely seems to be the thing with actors. But there was an interesting article that I may have sent you or may hadn't, but essentially a criticism of the MCU at the minute. Marvel seem to be more interested in the cast than the projects. They're trying to just attract the talent and not utilise them to their full potential.
They've always had that thing of like it was
They're just going
the
for
story
names.
and then the talent and then the talent.
But now they're saying it's the other way around.
Yeah.
They're prioritising names and they're going, let's get Bill Murray in this 10-minute role for some reason and put him in it because it's Bill Murray. Damn it!
Yeah.
That's what the article was saying. I'm like, I kind of get that.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah,
we'll do some Marvel stuff because I've got like a Doctor Who one to kind of be the end. But
yeah, that's fine. That's all good.
Spider-Man 4 is officially
Oh,
in development and rumoured to have a release date of next year.
Well, marketing team, you better get a move.
Better get a move on.
Yeah, better get a move on. Next summer? Oh no, he doesn't say a date, but like,
I don't know,
Spider-Man's
because
a summer movie.
I don't know because we've had 2 in July and 1 in December, so we
Yeah.
could August split the difference.
September in the middle, the fall season. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, obviously we knew that was kind of coming, so that's
Or at least before Avengers. Which, again, he's
because the next
supposedly
time
one of the leaders.
Well, the next time I see Spider-Man, I don't want him to be leading,
No.
the Avengers. We briefly touched on this. Not
Exactly.
obviously we
I
said
know
last
he's
week,
like
but
the
last
forgotten.
episode.
He's the forgotten hero because of what happened in No Way Home. But like, it would make no sense if Kang and he's conquest your mind and he's done this millions of times. He's never heard of the Spider-Man. He's never once come across a spider before.
No. Well,
I don't know. I don't know. He'd kind of be a bit. Oh, so now a 16-year-old kid in universe is going to fight against him
because one of the Disney Plus shows started filming yesterday. Do you know which one it is?
I don't.
Two
Just thinking names.
comic book series went into principal photography yesterday. Yesterday. I think is when I read it, and they were the Penguin,
Oh right.
which
So
cast
not
Clancy
Marvel.
Brown as fucking Salvatore Maroni.
Wow, did they?
So that's a fucking great
That's
casting.
that's cool.
And it fits with John Turturro being
Carmine Falcone.
Carmine Falcone, yeah.
Oh, that's really cool, actually. Didn't know that.
so that went into principal photography, as did Daredevil Born Again.
Oh,
So
Ooh.
I think the thing we're all begging for is a Daredevil cameo again, but actually in the costume.
yes,
And I want Wilson Fisk against this Spider-Man.
yes. That honestly should be Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
It has to be Spider-Man 4.
Or it could be in a little animated film coming out at the end of this year. It could be that because
Part 2. Yeah.
Rumor has it that part 1 but renamed because it's Across and then Beyond.
Oh yeah, Across and Beyond. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Star
Across
Trek
and
Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Exactly.
So according to Jeff Snyder, part of the reason why Spider-Verse got delayed was to incorporate Tom Holland into the movie,
Thank Christ.
and then part of that is the fact that apparently it's a live-action cameo in an
Yeah.
animated film,
Yeah.
which I'm visual shorthand, yes, but also people would get that if you just animated
Tom Holland.
his
Yeah,
suit,
exactly. Yeah, you get it.
Because I've seen a really good TikTok.
I think you sent me it.
think I did send it to
It
you.
looked phenomenal. It did look
Like
amazing.
it would sync it up to a point of like, yeah, that's
Like I've sort of said that it should be an animated live action hybrid thing, and that's kind of what I had in mind anyway. So
it's
kind
pretty
of
cool.
that's what I would want if this was going to happen. Not just not Lego Movie where they're like, help, we got us like Peter's the key, and you have Tom Holland's head going like, hey, what's going on here? Oh, this isn't the Marvel movie, but hey guys, you know me, I'm
the
Spider-Man.
Doctor. What's going on
I'm
round
the
here?
Doctor Man. Hey guys, I'm the Forgotten Spider-Man. But like some stupid cameo like that, it should be he's literally sucked into the movie. He turns into a cartoon. He should help. In my mind.
As a cameo. Like, because I know the thing before was like they wanted, and like the rumor that's never been confirmed is that Andrew Garfield would have been Peter B and Tobey Maguire would have been Peter Blonde Parker. Because like the perfect one and the synergy of like, the forgotten crappy one actually helping.
Save Toby and Andrew for live action, but I just think for Tom Holland, and because of the way this character is left, I think he should still be in Across and or Beyond, whatever.
Yeah, at least
whichever
in
it's called.
at least in a cameo, especially with
Whatever
the
it's
events of No Way Home.
That's
Like,
what I
there's
mean.
room for it.
Yeah, there is definite room for it.
And then it makes Into the Spider-Verse part of the MCU. retroactively,
Exactly.
which isn't a bad thing.
No.
Just like the fact we're going to have another actor crossing over because
Are we?
Dupender actor Karan
Yeah.
Soni is being cast as Spider-Man India in Across the Spider-Verse.
The Deadpool taxi driver. Yeah,
Yes.
the Deadpool taxi driver.
Because I rewatched. I was like, when I was doing my rewatch of, because we talked about, that was off camera, wasn't it? We talked about Pirates of the Caribbean, the base thing.
Yes.
Where
Yes.
I listened to the Big Damn
Pirates
Cast
of the
again,
Dead Caribbean.
I kind of found myself watching stuff, like, as I was like, they were like, "Oh, we've just gone to see Pirates of the Caribbean," and then I'm on the one where they've just seen It Part 1.
Oh.
So I'm like, I would love to watch that again. But, because I was watching that, I was like, I've kind of been tempted for like a couple of weeks before it. Do I do all the X-Men films? Because Lara's never seen them all. She's always like, that's not my thing, that's not my bag. I'm like, yeah, but when they're in the MCU,
It's gonna matter.
I'm just helping you.
Exactly. We're caring people.
And I even said, like, look, because
we're caring
some
people.
of them are really good, some of them are really bad. The fun thing is finding out which one's which. Because
Take a guess.
she's watched Deadpool 1 and 2 with me. Like,
Good,
not back
yeah.
to back, but like over separate like things, like months, maybe years ago. And she's like, yeah, like enjoy them. Like she's looking forward to the third Deadpool film.
Yeah.
But then I think maybe
even if you're not a comic book fan, I think everyone on the planet is going to be at least anticipating Deadpool.
And I think for her, the fact that Hugh Jackman's in it as Wolverine, maybe
Yeah.
she's kind of going, oh, maybe I should watch some of the stuff with him in it.
Maybe.
Because then if I go, watch the stuff with Hugh in it, and now don't watch the stuff without Hugh in it. Technically, Hugh's in it.
Sell X-Men Origins
Technically, he's in it because he told them to fuck off.
Sell X-Men Origins Wolverine to her, because that's the most Hugh.
That is the most Hugh.
That
and
is the most
arguably, it's not the worst X-Men film. Just going to put it out there. Because do you know what also brought it on? I've finally watched New Mutants. And I was like...
Yes. It's a fine movie.
I was like, this is fine.
Yeah.
They could have done more to it, but I'm glad...
It's harmless.
It
doesn't purposely set up things that make you go, what the fuck?
I think it's at least 10 times better than Dark Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
And I can proudly say that with my chest.
It's Stranger Things in the MCU. Well, not in the MCU, in the FCU, the Fox Cinematic Universe.
In the Foo.
In the Foo, yeah. The Fox Cinematic Universe.
But speaking about the MCU, Walking Dead star and actor Steven Yeun has been cast in Thunderbolts.
Yes.
In a part that is not only significant for this film, but could be major role in the in going forward in future films.
Kang variant. I don't know, just a random shout.
Now, the two that I've heard, I'll go with the obvious
yeah.
one, is Sentry.
Right. Yeah.
Which
I don't really know the
fine
character,
with.
but I'll just have to say yes.
Superpowered type.
Okay.
Basically like Adam Warlock a bit.
Yeah, right.
I
know we discussed recently.
Something that would be ballsy and I would prefer. Mr. Negative, I've heard.
Yes. Spider-Man 4-ish.
Like, so, because like people said, like if it lines up right, you are introducing a man, then maybe he's in a thing, and that's how he gets his negative powers.
Yeah.
And then that leads into wherever Spider-Man 4 goes, possibly. But then obviously that would be like a one and done thing, unless he was kept alive at the end of the fourth one and involved in Secret Wars in some way. Whereas Sentry would make more sense of the fact that
I don't know, Mr. Negative kind of
when
excites me. I think that would be a cool one.
When you hear it, you see it.
Yeah.
When we talk about the shows, reportedly, What If will be a 3 strikes and out show. It will be
3 strikes and out.
It will apparently they're looking to end it after a 3rd season. So they would do. Whereas that's a shame because that's one of the few that I see could be ongoing. Because
it could be an anthology almost.
As you do more projects, you do then.
Or maybe give it another saga or two in 10 years' time if the MCU ever dies down. Maybe they'll revisit
if they did it at the end of each saga kind of thing, possibly.
They'll revisit it.
Because you could arguably get to a point where you would have a What If episode of What If.
What if?
What if? Yeah. What
if was what?
What if? Double question mark underline.
What if was what?
Exactly that. What else from the Marvel stuff?
What was if? Yeah.
What was it? Shortcuts were taken in the VFX. I don't know if you read about this.
Of what? Of
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Ooh.
Because critical resources were directed.
I know
towards
that Kang.
Wakanda Forever.
I know that Kang shot is different. in the trailer, I think he had less blue on his face, and when you watch the movie, it's a bit more lit up in the background, and it is different in the movie.
Yeah, but apparently the resources were thrown more at Wakanda Forever.
Oh yeah, no, I've read that. Yeah.
And that, and they're taking because the team was severely understaffed and facing unrealistic short deadlines, which we've kind of been here before. But it's kind of good that they went, well, do more on the one that we want to, work
ultimately
well.
matter, and the one that should impact more.
That's the one that's more CGI heavy, so you'd think
you
want that done
the money for that.
Smooth. Yeah, it's one of those things. Hopefully, we're moving towards better pay and better staffing and less shithousery from all the big movie companies.
Corporate synergy
will never exist because everyone hates everyone.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. The sequel.
Oh, we could do
the sequel.
So Kang's rumoured / confirmed appearances. So we've seen Loki season 1 and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Definitely.
Loki season 2.
Well, confirmed because of the post-credit.
Yeah.
Spoiler. But yeah, it's in the
not
post-credit.
For just one episode, we're expecting because we've heard that there's going to be multiple Kang variants. So whether it's the Citadel of Ricks at the end that we're going to see in Loki, or they're going to throw some more in there.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Agatha Coven of Chaos. That's a weird one.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit for me. The Fantastic Four.
I mean, Nathaniel fucking Richards. Yes.
I've seen a thing that why will as a visual thing, because obviously where his lineage is, cast Jonathan Majors as Mr. Fantastic.
Maybe that's why they've not announced it. Maybe they're going to do something like that.
Because we've heard that, we won't expect what they're doing with it. And when I heard that, I was kind of like, yeah, that makes sense. Because instead,
I want to add more fuel to the fire, but it does. Instead
of just randomly, like, we're going to have the Storms be a broken family, so, like, the, was it Rooney Mara or Kate Mara? One of the Maras was Invisible Woman. But she was adopted by Franklin Storm.
Really?
I don't know, because obviously him and Michael B. Jordan, obviously, both their characters are of African American descendancy because they are.
Yes.
But Kate / Rooney, whichever O'Mara it is white.
Yeah.
But to have the fact of, he's a descendant, so then essentially, like, you have Mr. Fantastic fighting to save his own family's future.
Wow. Well, I want to add more fuel, but
go on then.
No, literally, because of what happens in Quantumania and what we've seen and what you may have seen I'm surprised you haven't read anything about it. If you purposely literally stayed away.
I've stayed away. I know the.
You generally don't know the post credits for Quantumania.
I know the Loki one, yeah.
But you don't know the one before it.
I've heard it's the others, isn't there? It's like I haven't read the names, but I'm assuming it's going to be like Immortus, Ramatut, and what's the other one?
So no, I'll tell you that one. So Scarlet Centurion, except
one. I always forget him.
Except the look, he's not Scarlet. Completely nothing like Scarlet. Centurion. He's just a blue metal man.
You metal man.
You're meant to be Scarlet, but you're not.
Can I just say from the clips I've seen?
Yes. Okay. Do it.
Can you imagine if Matt Berry was MODOK?
I
am not a dick. Cassie, I did not know that was you. But as a George Star, because a lot of people have said, like, they don't even take it seriously. It's like, but MODOK is not a serious character. The best I can say, if you want an adaptation of MODOK that gets the character 100%, watch the MODOK show.
Animated series,
because he is a piss take. He is a tragic character, but also this shit is not meant to make sense. It's a man with a giant head in a floating space chair
with a tiny little arms and tiny little legs
and a nice little ass in the Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and he gets picked up. But
yes,
I love it. Like, and you need an actor that doesn't take himself seriously. And I think from what I've heard of Corey Stoll, essentially, redeems himself. But it would be great for. Like it to be, if we had a George Charlton, for it to be
into the MODOK verse of madness. The MODOK verse of madness.
Like you need that level of actor, don't you, that knows exactly what they're doing.
Well, I feel even crossover between Matt Berry and the animated MODOK or Corey Stoll.
Yeah. So sorry, you were saying
the MODOK verse of madness.
So Scarlet Centurion,
who basically isn't Scarlet.
Yeah, the other two, because I know there's three.
Yes.
But there's loads. So because there's another name he talked. Because obviously there's Iron Lad when he tries to convince his teenage self to be evil.
Who? Okay, I'll talk about that because that originally was meant to be one of the post credits. They cut Iron Lad out.
Really?
Storyboards and stuff with it. Well, yeah, I've read it. I've watched the video in it.
You watched them
I was at the premiere.
Banging at the window going, no, put it back in. Peyton, put it back in the movie, Peyton. And then two big burly security men threw him on a plane back to England.
End of story. That's all I can say. NDAs afterwards.
NDA
No, but Iron Lad was supposed... I think it was New Rockstars. Name and Shame. New Rockstars covered it.
Oh.
But yeah, Iron Lad was supposedly going to turn up and talk to Cassie about stuff and introduce himself, and that would have been a post-credit.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But would it have been a sized and de-aged down Jonathan Majors, or would it have been a different actor?
No idea.
Interesting. But Jonathan Majors, like this is Jonathan Majors' year. Apart from Devotion,
he really is.
Everything is probably good.
It really is. It's on the upwards. It's on the up.
Started from the bottom. Well, arguably he has, because Devotion was terrible.
Oh, okay.
Ant-Man Wars Quantumania hasn't been well received, and for the most part, Creed 3 is
He's
unanimously...
arguably the best thing about it.
I can't wait to see it.
He's the best thing about it.
Yeah,
it's the way they film the fights. It's cinematography. The cinematography tells the story in the fights.
And it's Michael B.
in the
Jordan's
ring.
first feature film, and how does it?
That's the thing. There's a couple of other reviews have pointed out maybe the odd one or two plot inconsistencies with how it feels like it skips a bit of the story. But you're going to get. I feel like you get that with most movies. There is maybe a 5-10 minute bit that they cut out, and you think, how do we get from A to C without going through B?
Yeah,
there's a bit of that. But once you get
you
to
can
there, then
get
you're...
yourself around it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least I did.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see it. Shang-Chi and the Wreckage of Time, which is apparently being fast-tracked to come out before Kang Dynasty.
And I mean, with that name, is going to link to Kang somehow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Secret Wars, presumably, where he will be killed maliciously by Deadpool.
Yeah. Or eaten by Galactus.
Or eaten by Deadpool.
Deadpool as Galactus?
You get no, it's just normal sized Deadpool. You guys go ahead, I'm going to be here a while.
Yeah.
God, Jonathan Majors is so buff, there's so much to eat. Cannibal Deadpool.
Deadpool.
But like you said, reportedly the main Avengers are going to be Ant-Man, Spider-Man, Hulk, Captain Marvel, Thor, and Loki.
Yeah, Loki, because I feel that's going to take a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of where Kang and everything's going to go.
Loki is one that you have to watch before Quantumania, essentially. And in terms of the Kang character, to get a thing of where it comes from, the shorthand is all done in... Like you would probably get an overarching thing if you didn't watch Loki, but I think to get the full thing of it, you're going to have to sort of appreciate.
Either read the comics, watch the cartoons more. But
we had a general knowledge of him before seeing him turn up in
because I went, so obviously my dad was over and we all went as a family to watch Quantumania, but that morning I whacked on the finale of Loki and said, right Dad, this is what you need to know about the villain. I said, look, he's there, this is a version of him, It kind of went over his head a little bit. It didn't really help things too much, but essentially it does answer the fact that it's the shorthand, it's there if you want it. This is his introduction technically. However, for those that haven't watched Loki or don't have Disney Plus because you can't afford it or whatever, you can just go into Quantumania and kind of just accept it for what it is and try to not get baffled by the complexity of the character, because it's only going to get 10 times more confusing as time goes on. But no, Loki season 2 is going to at least be the next chapter of his story and find out how it all affects the saga and everything else. Because if there's Loki season 2 and then nothing until Kang Dynasty,
he's got to be in it somewhere. Essentially.
Yeah, there's got to be other appearances in the projects, whatever the order they do it in.
Yeah.
It would be a bit of a long gap if it was Loki. If 2023 was Kang's year and then nothing until Kang Dynasty, it'd be a bit weird.
It would be.
For me.
Is that old stuff? I believe so. Just quick, do you like the what's it? The Harlan Coben sort of adaptation?
Harlan Coben stuff. Yeah. The ones I've watched.
Michelle Keegan's going to star in the new one, Fool Me Once.
41?
Fool Me Once.
Oh, Fool Me Once. Okay.
The limited series, Richard Armitage is back. You got Adil Akhtar, Joanna Lumley coming soon. No release date, but we just know that Michelle Keegan will be the lead, and Richard Armitage is never a bad thing.
No, definitely not.
He's arguably the
best
best
thing about The Hobbit.
Very good young Rassilon, apparently. Speaking of The Hobbit, because Warner Brothers are going to make more Lord of the Rings films, and they want it to be their universe thing, franchise.
The Middle-earth universe.
And Peter Jackson's apparently going to be involved.
Oh my goodness. The MEU, the MCU versus the MEU.
They want him back like the thing on fandom says they want him back in the saddle, but whether that's for directing or more likely producing capacity of some kind. Because Rings of Power was it well
received? I
still
never finished it. I never did.
I never watched it. I was like, I need to watch it.
I did episode 1.
Do you know what it is? I was like, this is really expensive and really long. And I looked at it and I went, I can't do this today. My brain is not ready.
Yeah, I think that's the project of, I need to binge this. I can't be asked to watch this weekly.
It's a thing you have to binge. Fuck, binging. We'll have to maybe do it.
Yes. No, I should.
It's a stretch goal.
It's a stretch goal.
Donate enough. We'll
we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
We'll sit here for 10 hours and watch it.
Yeah, 10 hours. We'll only do the first 2 episodes. Oh man!
Because it was a 2-episode premiere and the rest just came out weekly, and I just kind of switched my brain off and forgot.
I saw like one clip of it and I was like, "This looks fun."
Too much.
Too much.
Oh, okay.
It
was a bit slow.
The long rumoured Welcome to Derry series has officially been greenlit at HBO.
Yes.
Andy Muschietti will be returning, presumably to maybe direct the pilot and be involved in a showrunner-ish capacity, possibly, or just a producer role.
Yeah.
Because he said he always wanted to do. He said if he was going to do a third thing, he would do a prequel. The series was sort of bandied about for a bit, but he would also wanted to build upon the lore of the Pennywise entity coming to Earth and the decades and hundreds of years it was there and what it went through.
Because the text is all there in the book, but the book doesn't necessarily answer it. It just kind of hints at these things, and that's where having literally reading it right this second, like I can kind of see why this prequel is happening. If I just went off of the films, I'd be like, no, don't need. But because I've read the source, I see it. I can see the vision.
I can see. I can fight. What else? Jamie Campbell-Bower wants to play Scarecrow in the...
Yeah.
Not clear whether it's the DCU or the Matt Reeves universe. I'm there for either one.
I think he'd be great in Matt Reeves' world.
Yes.
Good man. Well done.
For video games,
Suicide
Squad Kill the Justice League, which is probably going to be a shit movie. A shit game, but better than Arkham Knights, probably.
Gotham Knights. Yeah.
Gotham Knights, whatever the fuck they are.
The Gotham without Batman Knights.
Yes.
That one.
Batman's apparently is set 5 years after Batman Arkham Knight, sorry.
Yeah, Arkham Knight being the 2015, like, visually gorgeous epic finale to those Rocksteady series of games, and I forget that Suicide Squad is in that universe.
But if you talk about the trilogy, trilogy, because Origins technically isn't part of it because it's a different thing,
different studio as well,
and very well written game Origins, but very bad in terms of output. Arkham Knight still for me is the weakest one. Because I think as expectation grew with the series, they could only go so far. The best game, I think, is Arkham Asylum. The best experience is City. Yeah. And I like Knight. I just I think
I haven't really gone through Knight since the initial playthrough. I've not gone back.
I don't think I ever finished it. Especially not on Xbox. Like I've got it, but I need to. It's one of them things I need to do. But at the moment, I'm playing fucking Match Point. Really bad tennis game.
All right.
That's what I'm playing. Because I used to. So on PS3, I had Topspin 4, which was almost like the FIFA of tennis games because it was made by 2K Sports.
Yeah.
And it had the actual professional players on it, and you can make your own. This is very much this is cheaper and very unexpensive because it's on Game Pass. So I made my player, and I looked at the achievement. There's 23 achievements.
It's light work.
And the hardest two are winning games online, which if you jump on it, we could just do that together.
Yeah, fine.
But
gentleman's agreement.
It doesn't matter about because you can put down the difficulty and just play it. And I've had 2 achievements glitch early.
All right.
So there's achievement that is to win every type of final of a tournament because you go through
brackets
as you go up the rankings, you're able to access more tournaments. So you go
Uh-huh.
from the basic opens to you've got elites, you've got championships, you've got internationals, and you've got grand slams. And basically, there's 5 or 6 different types of tournament finals. And I won the second one,
But you've got the
and
achievement.
the achievement unlocked.
You've got all of them, but yet you've only done 2
Yeah,
of them.
I've-
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, cool.
I've now won 3 of them, but like,
Yeah, but you've got it.
like for certain things you'll unlock certain prizes. So you get once you get your season points when you win a tournament or wherever you finish in the tournament, you get a certain amount. You get like a bracket that upgrades your thing, and it said I had them all, but I still had another 2 to collect.
So,
But I got the
the achievement.
I got the gym bag one. The only one so far that's done right has been the aces and the smash shots. So you have to perform 100 aces, and once you figure out how to do it on the game,
Yeah.
because there's certain times where if I'm running to the ball and I'll hit the button, but he won't start the swinging motion, so like then I miss the shot, and sometimes that happens for the other one. But you learn very quickly where the limits are for getting an ace, and I think my career aces are something like 498. And I had to get 100 for like that went right, and I got the achievement.
Okay.
And I've so far only done because smash shots are hard because they need to try and sort of loft. You need to get them to a point where they try and go for the lob, so that then you back up, so that then when your player automatically goes like that they're gearing up for a smash shot. But you can't do a smash, like a smash shot's not an option. It's the circumstance of where the position of the ball is
Okay.
for you to do it.
Yeah,
And I've done 52 of those.
And you needed what? 100.
I need 100.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I'm playing at the minute. This is a weird
Match
detour.
point. Yeah, match
But,
point. Yeah. It's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass, yeah.
I might check this out for you at home.
Check it out because from my knowledge, it's probably one of the easiest 1000 Gs that isn't a shit mini game kind of thing. Because my first 1000 G was Forza Horizon Presents Fast and Furious when the
Oh
seventh
my
one was
god!
coming
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. I remember that.
That's what I did, and I did that on both. That's how sad I was. I did it on 360. I went back and did it on 360 again.
You want an easy, well, let's say an easy, but you want another free game that's kind of equivalent to one of my favourite games of all time, Portal. That really gets your brain going.
I haven't played Portal in so long, and I
Well,
kind
this
of
this
want
one is called Escape Academy.
Huh? Is it cheap
It's-
Portal?
Well, it's not Portal, but essentially you're in a prison escape academy. You're in school and basically you do escape rooms, but again, it's escape rooms, so you have to think and get
so
out.
there's
And
puzzles.
it's,
Okay. Oh, cool.
but it reminds me a lot of Portal, but just not without the portals.
Because I went onto a thing of like once I did that, I was like, right, I want 100% a game that's like an actual game. And for me at the time, I remember playing Lego Marvel Superheroes and loving it. Like it's one of my favourite all-time Lego games in terms of it's an original story. The voice cast is great, the plethora of characters and the replayability of it. And I'd never Lego Star Wars, the complete saga I'd got the most on that. I'd got like 50% complete, and I was like, I want 100% a Lego game, so I want 100% everything. So
Fair enough. I'm
and
the
once
same.
I did that,
Yeah.
then I've always had a Lego game in rotation, but not that because like I've had Xbox for 10 years.
Bloody hell, 10 years this year. What, next year?
This year, end of this year, because like it was
2013
no,
is
next
Xbox
year.
One.
So, because I got it a year after, I got the one a year after it came out because I was always a PlayStation guy, and then being at work, after my first full-time paycheck, I got a Xbox One,
Oh.
and I averaged for the first like 3 years like 20,000 gamer score a year, and I'm now only on 70,000, which proves how much I've not played it since like relationships and children and shit like that.
Life,
But
yeah.
It's the main reason I want to stream because I want to go through I want you and me to sit here, go through all of my back catalogue of stuff. We'll do yours as well, but like
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
got
fine,
so
yeah.
much shit that I'm like, we need to clear this off so I can
Cleanse.
delete this.
Good riddance.
'Cause
Good
I've always
night, sweetheart.
Because since seeing it, I don't know if you remember a channel called Bravo
Yes. Yeah, I remember Bravo.
when
Yeah.
they used to do the game stuff and be like, these are the games that released, and then they do a look at special games. From then, I've always wanted to play. I've forgotten the name of it. But it's the World War One where the Irish guys in like Germany, like that, and Alan Wake. I've always wanted to play, and Alan Wake.
You say
the
Irish?
Saboteur.
Yeah, it was French in Paris.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the other way around. Yeah,
Is he not
it was
Irish?
Oh, he might be Irish, but it's in Paris.
Yeah.
You said it was Irish and French in Germany. I don't know what you said.
Because it was the war, so I just assumed it was in Germany.
No, it's in Paris.
So I've always wanted to play that.
It's Saboteur. Yeah, yeah.
I bought Mafia 3 on
Yeah, I need to
physical or
get a
digital.
game. Yeah.
But my file's corrupted, so I press the thing and it doesn't. Like, so I've got it, but I can't actually play it. So I need to buy it again.
The definitive thing, yeah.
Like I've got I got the Handsome Jack collection of the remasters of
Borderlands, yeah.
and I've got the original one on 360, like on a port onto the thing. Like I've got the 360 version on the one, sorry. But like I've got Alan Wake's got the original version and the remastered version.
Yeah, so you're gonna grind both.
We've got to like go through all of them.
You're gonna grind both.
Because I did Goat Simulator.
Yeah.
I 1000G'd it before they added more, so I completed it. Went back and did it on 360 because I hate myself because doing that Flappy Goat one was fuck.
That was annoying. Yeah.
Obviously, I've always had a Lego game in rotation, but I've not. I don't think I've completed, like, perfected a Lego game since Lego Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
So I need to still, like, I've always had the Hobbits, or I've had for ages.
I need the Hobbit. I need Clone Wars.
When they, because I've had that on. Because normally, like, I'll have stuff, but I'll have it in my ready to install.
Mm-hmm.
And I play it once I've completed it, then I can delete it. Like I had Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition in there for ages until I finally
fucking played it.
We got to play that because I perfected that I think 2 years after I finished playing it.
Oh,
because
right,
I had
okay.
a few like of the Yakuza things like bars to fill up, and after that I went back to it, finished it, and I was like, yeah, like Sleeping Dogs, I've got so much to do on that, and that was great.
Oh, okay.
Like Assassin's Creed 4, like so much of that I need to do. Like I had, when there's always a Lego sale, I'll always get one. Like I did, especially when like the older ones, like when Indiana Jones went down to like £4, it's like, yes, I'll do that quick. Because the older ones are notably more quicker because there's less shit to collect.
Exactly.
Whereas now it's like red blocks, the True Believer, whatever it is.
Yeah,
special
the mini
health
kits,
things,
the money bars,
People in Peril.
less cheat codes to make it quicker as well. That was a negative. The older games, you could just enter the codes you wanted to and speed it up.
Oh, I do that now because it doesn't affect achievements. Like I'll do it on the odd
I
thing.
thought they stopped at some. Well, they didn't stop, but I thought there was like fewer codes in a game. But they don't have like studs ×2 or ×10. You can't just instantly enter that code.
You could never get all of them. You could always get one of the timeses. No, because I think you still
Stud
can get all of them.
Stud ×2 you can always buy in every Lego game just from the off, I'm sure.
There's cheat codes for at least one of them, but I think you have all the stuff. Like you said, there's probably less as it goes on. But
I know in like Lego, if you would search up Complete Saga, start a playthrough from scratch, you can pull up every cheat and they would have all of the red bricks as cheats. Whereas as the series went on and as the years have gone by, you get like the shit ones. But if you want studs,
I don't think they've always had every single. I think they've had most of them because obviously you still got
majority
level
of
playing
them,
the game. Otherwise, there's no point.
There is no point apart from game score.
Because it would be that I had the Lego Movie video. I made the mistake sometimes. I would go into a Lego game not long after I'd finished one, so I'd literally finish one and then go into another one, and then you're bored because it's the same thing. Because once you finish the story mode, which is the only compelling aspect, the replaying, the looking for stuff on free play in the world hubs, especially as they grow, that becomes your thing.
Only exception to that rule, which again I weren't big on at the time, but I've bought enough packs. But me being the movie guy now, like I'm kind of glad I did. Lego Dimensions, the only exception, because that
I always wanted to do that, but for me, I looked at that as like
I've got the majority of the packs, but there are a few which I still kind of want now as an adult.
Lego Dimensions, should we do it?
Why not?
We'll play that. Lego Dimensions.
Why not?
We'll play it on both of ours so we can all get the gamer score. But yeah, like one of those things. So I'm getting back round to it. Arkham Knight is thing I need to do. I still need to do Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War because
I need to do War. Yeah,
both of them I got for free on Games for Gold. No, yes.
Yeah, Mordor I got free for
one
gold.
of them was Definitive Edition was discounted because of gold, and then the other one was just free. So like I've got both of them. It's like they've even stopped some of the server stuff for Shadow of Mordor, so I probably won't get all the achievements.
Okay.
Like in terms of some of the clan leader things, whatever they are. It's like that's how much I've had stuff on there that I've wanted to. Like Deadpool, I've never properly finished all the way through.
Well, that game just never fucking ends to me.
Like I finished it, but I haven't got all the other achievements because
I'm not even at the end of the game. It just never ends. That game. It's good, but it just.
We will do it. We will clear some of our backlog, just like we are clearing this backlog of news because I'll save the Mandalorian stuff for next week because we've seen episode 2 tomorrow. But brief thoughts on episode 1.
I enjoyed it. I take it you've seen it.
I watched it the day it came out.
Yeah, so did I. I forgot. It was out Wednesday, wasn't it? I forgot it was coming out.
You texted me something and I was like, yeah, I'm just watching The Mandalorian, and you were like, oh,
it's tonight.
It's out.
It's tonight. Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing. So, like, season 1 and 2 take place over many years, and Grogu was with Luke for 2 years before being reunited with Din in Book of Boba Fett. And all the comments on that tweet are, yeah, but they don't make that clear in the show.
They don't.
For us, he's only been gone a few months, and then like he's back with him, because obviously they even said a lot of people are confused of why Grogu is back with Mando if they haven't seen Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I liked Mando episode 1
I
of
did.
season 3.
Yeah.
It was nowhere near my. I feel like this because Jon Favreau's come out and said like he's got years worth of stories with these characters. They could go on for like 10 seasons. Like
Jesus. Yeah, 10 seasons.
But obviously, like as he sort of he handed off like Book of Boba Fett was Robert Rodriguez is more focused one. Like he's doing stuff with Ahsoka. Like if he can oversee it, but then not be involved in all of them, like that's great, because I really enjoyed Obi-Wan, and that was the one I was worried about because it wasn't from that team.
Yeah, those masterminds.
I just don't want it to get stale, and I thought watching the first episode I was like, if this carries on like the last 2 seasons, this could get boring, and I don't want to be bored of Mandalorian. Like I really don't. It is without doubt the best thing to come out of Star Wars since Disney purchased it.
Absolutely,
I would say this.
It is,
and then Obi-Wan maybe and Rogue One are kind of fighting.
And Andor is somewhere in the top spot because people absolutely love
Force Awakens
wank over Andor.
And the sequel trilogy as a whole is near the bottom.
Near the bottom, no.
But that's mainly because of Rise of Skywalker. But because I watched Force Awakens again, and I was like, I really do love this. Because remember when I did like 1 to 9, and I was like, this is great. But also it was like, once you get past 8, you're like, and we finish it off with this. Because I really love Last Jedi, but I really don't want to get bored of Mando. I like that we got our first mention of where's Cara Dune. It's like she left.
She's with the rebels or whatever. She's stationed on blah blah blah.
She's stationed on Mustafar.
So she's still alive in the universe, and if worse comes, they would recast.
They'd
recast.
Yeah, recast. Why not? Briefly, Umbrella Academy season 4, which is the final season.
I didn't even fucking do season 3. Didn't do the last season.
Nick Offerman, Megan McNally, and David Cross have all joined the cast for the 4th and final season.
Oh, okay. Just undisclosed roles, obviously. Don't say
no, they've got their roles. Look, so they've got
all right.
Dr. Jean Thibodeau. Jean Thibodeau.
Jean and
Jean with a J, Jean with a G-E-N-E.
Jean with a Jean.
And David Cross is Cy Grossman.
Whoever they are. Maybe they're novel characters. They're probably comic characters that people know. The nerds will know.
I can't wait for the final.
I need to catch up on it.
Umbrella Academy is so good. I think I need to rewatch season 3. I focused on less, but season 1 and 2 are fucking fabulous. Doctor Who stuff.
Yes.
Because we had another director announced. Julianne Robinson joins us for Block 3 of the new series. They announced on last Wednesday. They put that on the Doctor Who social medias. Because we've had a lot of directors sort of like, we're doing it, but as people have pointed out on Twitter, it'd be nice if you went and here's the writers.
Exactly, yeah.
Because we've had that. We've obviously seen a lot of the outdoor filming, so we know about the second costume for Shooty.
Yeah.
Which is fabulous, like absolutely amazing. But Chris Chibnall did an interview on Radio Free Scaro podcast.
Radio Free Scaro.
And he talks about his time on Doctor Who now that he's not tied to it.
A free man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I wanted to briefly touch on that and your thoughts on it.
Okay. What is this man up to?
So here's the thing that would it's for most people it would be the boring, tedious thing because it's not part of the actual making of the show. Well, it is, but it isn't. So a thing of note is that there was someone lined up to be the brand president. Which is someone Chris said was someone amazing that was lined up for the Jodie Whittaker era, but it sadly never worked out. Something was out of his control. But Chris said it would have been fantastic for the show and would have led to a very different approach. Now, a brand president isn't really a role.
No, it's a
but
title.
A brand manager is essentially marketing, what happens with merchandise and things like that.
Yeah,
because they've confirmed since the brand manager for RTD2, and they talked about because one of the I think is a little thread because they talk about the brand manager for the Russell era, and I think it was the same person for Moff, or they ended up switching out for something. Yeah, because obviously that went downwards after a certain point.
Left.
But it says a lot for the fact that the budget just wasn't there for them to have someone that would have obviously got more money, got more eyes on it, because there would have been more like
creativity behind it.
Well, just like more
Energy.
people saying, "Hey, watch this! Hey, watch this! We've got toys of this. We've got toys of that." There probably would have been more. The character option toys would have probably come out sooner.
A lot sooner. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the thing that's detrimented the era, as well as right. What do you want? Do you want?
What do I want?
Do you want aired? Like, I've got 3 things.
Okay.
I've got air dates.
Air dates, yeah.
Like in terms of
when they broadcast, yeah.
Spin-offs, or the original plan for Series 13.
Series 13
instead of Flux.
Instead of start off with Flux. Yeah, let's delete Flux from my mind.
So
what could have been?
So before Flux, there would have been another 10 episode series.
Okay.
Obviously, it was done through COVID, and he said that he named 4 returning writers.
Okay. Who?
Pete McTeague, Kablam, Fabulous,
Kablam,
Praxius,
Yeah, fine.
Ed Heim, It Takes You Away in Orphan 55.
Yeah.
Vinny Patel, Demons of the Punjab and Fugitive of the Jadoon.
Yes.
So it would have been nice for them to, because like he would have written, they all would have written, apart from the last one, Nina Mativier, who wrote Nicholas Essen's Night of Terror. So the other 3 would have then ended up writing in every series of Chibnall Who.
Okay, fair enough.
All the other writers were planned to return in the original plans for Doctor Who Series 13, but obviously the
no
COVID stopped them
never
from
say
being
never
able to do that.
Not again. Never say never.
Never
said
spin-offs.
Yeah.
We seek out Radio Free Scaro, FREE, because that's the podcast that he does the interview on, for you, the audience, and you, Connor, if you want to actually listen to it, because I've heard bits, and I've obviously seen a lot of these tweets that have come out of like, oh, like he's waiting till now to speak up, but it's like, yeah, but also now he's not employed by the BBC.
Exactly, he's a free man.
Because there's a lot of John Nathan Turner vibe in terms of the fact that if he would have disagreed with anything, I think the BBC would have just pulled the plug and just killed Doctor Who.
Killed it off. Yeah.
Like when John Nathan Turner was never allowed to leave, because he said, if you leave, we're ending the show, basically. Chibnall did want to do spin-offs during his tenure, but there was no budget. He revealed that his team wanted to produce different spin-offs, some original ideas, possibly some
pre-existing, like
I think there would have been another series of Torchwood, at least pitched to Russell, because obviously Chibnall was the showrunner of Torchwood,
which I forget. Yeah,
because obviously Russell was the executive producer, but he couldn't showrun all 3 shows.
No,
so it was like obviously like when it was a chance for Chibnall to like get his hands dirty and into that kind of showrunner role, and it's why I think Jack works as a character returning under his era, because he obviously would have like realigned because
stuff.
Torchwood Jack and Doctor Who Jack are
different.
Very different.
They are very different as they go on. Yeah,
but they still have to have the same common feel. But yeah, so maybe like we would have had that. It would have been interesting. As long as it wasn't Class, like it would have been interesting to see that
Classroom.
And Chibnall never, although he rejected having a Christmas special be his first episode, because that is famous.
Yeah.
The fact that Moff was leaving at the end of series 10, and then it was originally planned. So it would have been like Christmas Invasion. You have a new Doctor at Christmas, you do that, and then go into your series, which I think would have worked out better, because Twice Upon a Time has always seemed like an extra chapter in
the ideal regeneration. Yeah,
because he would have done that and then just done it, and then that would have been it. But then it's like, no, and then suddenly there's an adventure between the 10th Planet episodes
for some reason.
But so while he didn't want that one, he was never done with Christmas Day, because he originally planned for Spyfall Part 1 to air on Christmas Day, then Boxing Day. So originally planned for part 1 and 2, like with 2 different days, like basically one day and then the next day you get part 2.
I think it would have worked.
And then he was like, well, can I put part 1 on Boxing Day? No, this was down to the BBC because they deemed the episode to be too scary to have around the Christmas period, so instead moved it to January the 1st.
Scary.
Yeah, it's too much dark stuff apparently happening in that.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure. I'm lost for words.
You're intrigued, aren't you?
What could have been in the Who multiverse? What could have been?
But then,
I think things could have been better from the sounds of it.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of restraints because I think the goodwill was. We've talked about a lot of this in our 3-part Jodie Whittaker breakdown, retrospective era. Yeah, our mental
Mega
breakdown.
special.
Yeah, so go check out them because we had a lot of fun doing that with Mike, Andy, and Will. But like the Salem facts of these for me, the fact that Doctor Who, maybe subconsciously but like coincidentally, took a bit of a downward turn once Amy and Rory left. In terms of merchandising, there was less.
Yeah.
There was a lot less. Like the era with the fewest character options releases is the 12th Doctor.
Yeah.
It was previous. I think 13 overtook with the releases of the 3-pack with the companions. Like that pushed it over the 12th Doctor's era because they went down from the 5.5-inch range to the like 3.5.
3.5.
And it was like the tiny ones because like it was like there's a Scovox Blitzer and there's a Capaldi, but they're obviously all out of scale with the rest of them, so no one really bought them because it was like, well, this isn't, these are the what we want. This is what you've made like years of this of, and we get that more now because of B&M and stuff. And I assume we will get
a whole 10 times more in
like,
this new Disney era.
I don't ever expect it to be the range of the Tennant years because I think Tennant was peak for that because we had a few Series 1 ones come out as Series 1 was happening / ending, and then we got Series 2 ones as like...
That was happening.
Coming out. And then I think Series 2, 3 and 4 had the most, and then you had obviously the special sets. I think we'll get more of them, maybe not to that extent, but for the Shooty Gatwa era, I expect that. I want at least a Shooty, a Ruby Sunday, and I never forked out for the Regeneration set. I don't know if you saw that. It was the... in the old box window format, the one when they had in Toys R Us, they had the 11 Doctors at the time, and it was the window box. And I always looked at it, I was like, I have hardly any of these, but I don't want it, and I didn't get it, and I really fucking should have. But at the time, I had I've still got like 4 David Tennants, but not the bow tie one.
Not the bow tie.
I need to get the tuxedo one. But they did that, but it was Jodie in the Master Doctor's costume with the scarf, with the scarf vest, and then regenerated Tennant. But the face sculpt was completely different. It wasn't even like a reused one. It was like, but apparently it looked a lot better in person than it did on picture. But yes, where was we going with this? In terms of like the marketability and stuff, like there was just like there was obviously a lot less. The marketing team was noticeably different, even to the fact of after Power of the Doctor had been on, and then the new production team had at least taken over. Because that's not saying that the marketing team switches over, because a lot of them are probably hired by BBC Wales themselves and like
directly.
The actual BBC, like worldwide, and that do a lot of the distribution of the shows.
Yeah.
So who's to say that they're not the same employees or they've just swapped 2 teams over kind of thing? But once the RTD era started again, we suddenly got here's the countdowns of this, and we've had a post like at least 2 or 3 a week.
Yeah, exactly.
In terms
you
of
feel
Twitter and
pretty
Instagram
regularly,
and stuff,
pretty goddamn regularly.
Because we had the countdowns and stuff with the Doctors corresponding to the Times, and that lined up with the announcement of the season 9 box set, which this Saturday was the Sea Devils.
I know.
They had that screening.
But with Katie Manning did say that spin-offs were happening. She said spin-offs are happening.
I wouldn't be surprised if the unit thing comes back.
Well, unit is the popular one that's been surging lately.
Yeah, or that's how you rebuild Torchwood, because I think at the moment you've still got to do it without Captain Jack, like regardless. Yes. And
goodbye, sweetheart.
Well, you can't have Torchwood without Captain Jack. You can, because you spent the whole of the 4 seasons setting up that Gwen was his equal, if not better, and that he was almost like subconsciously getting her ready to lead anyway. Yeah, so Katie Manning was there. They talked about a lot of stuff. I don't think anyone asked about the animations.
No, I don't think. No.
But
I just saw a random tweet. It was a Farry's video where she said in his video that spin-offs are happening, whether that involves like the characters that you think or classic-y characters. I can't remember the exact wording, but basically she said spin-offs are happening.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, cool.
I think we probably shouldn't expect our first RTD spin-off until 2025 at the earliest. Because they're going to get the first season out and then go, and here is the
Mystery Project number 1. Yeah.
But I look forward to it. I was so gutted about missing, because I either catch it at the right time, like with Abominable
Snowmen. Yeah.
Is that the one we saw?
Yeah, Abominable Snowmen.
Because I saw Galaxy 4 just by chance that Dom managed to, but he couldn't go. And I was like, if you still got your ticket, like, I'll send you the money. And then I ended up going, and I was like, this is great. And
This
I was
is
like,
amazing.
there's Josh Carr from Who Knew, and there's the hair of Adam Martin.
Oh, the next one.
And there's Peter Purvis. But yeah, Katie Manning was there, and there's so many of the videos and pictures, because I love that everyone does that, because Billy, our acquaintance, Billy Garrett John, who,
yes,
you
acquaintance.
know, we did he allowed us to do the reviews of
The Dark Dimension.
Because he moves to New Zealand. So he literally was like, this is like one of the last times I'm going to be here for a while around my people, so if you see me, come say hi. And I was like, gutted I can't go because I didn't get a ticket, but all the best in your next adventure, mate, on the other side of the world. But yeah, you had a lot of people there. You had like TARDIS Monkey, Ellie does a lot of the cosplays. You've got obviously Faris is there. Mr. TARDIS is normally there quite a bit. I think we saw him a couple of times.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a cool thing, and hopefully when the animations come back, because apparently they are,
Yes,
get one.
do it.
But the rumor is that the next box set will be announced
When?
next month.
Next month.
So they're guessing, because so far, touch wood, there's not been a delay for season 9.
A whole new record, new year,
But when I
2023.
pre-ordered it, it said 25th of December 2024. So I was like,
Oh no,
if
promising.
it comes before that, then I'm happy. But
Yeah.
apparently, it is definitely going to be season 20. And everyone was like, so
Finally.
if season 20 is the one, surely 5 Doctors, right?
Yes.
Please, like
Well, season 20, 5 Doctors is in season 20.
It would have to be counted in it, because it came out that year, and that production cycle, it was geared back. It's like with the Christmas specials. The Christmas special would always be the production code of the previous series,
Right.
but it would be included on the box set for the next one, because Christmas Invasion was made under the same production codes and a couple of months after season 1.
Oh.
So that's what But obviously it's because it's Tennant, then they're all included as like it's very much the in between, but it's seen of and here's the start of the new series, because they would do that, and by the time of the release of the Christmas special,
March 20th, 2023.
Oh, so yours have changed.
Yes, not December next year.
But
yeah.
But obviously, because it's David Tennant, you're not going to have a David Tennant episode in the thingy, and there would always be a coming soon for the next series, so it was always seen as the next lot. But whereas this is very much and after all, this is how it all started, and a celebration of 20 years and being the 20th box set, it would make perfect sense to be tacked on at the end of season 20 rather than put at the beginning of season 21.
Yes,
because that would be pointless. Of like, and also exactly. it would because what else is in season 20? There's
basically it's Arc Infinity, Snake Dance, the Black Guardian trilogy.
Fuck that.
Which I don't care about them,
because you couldn't do one without doing the others, and I'm not sitting there watching all 3 stories.
Arc Infinity, Snake Dance, then it's the trilogy.
Because Kinder is.
That's season 19. That's season 19. I feel like it's one after the Black Guardian trilogy, then the 5 Doctors. What's
Enlightenment.
That is the trilogy. It's Mordrin Undead Terminus Enlightenment. Then something else, and then King's Demons Comedian. It's 2-part comedian fucking
comedian
shit.
Circuit.
Comedian circuit, yeah, and then 5 Doctors.
But naturally, you'd want 5 Doctors because it's 90 minutes. There's no breaks in between. You could make it a fun little thing. You could maybe have
the biggest behind the sofa ever.
You could have you'd have to get Peter Davison there.
Of course.
Arguably, you could get Tom Baker there because I don't know if he's been at any of his ones. Because I know for what was the last Tom box set? 17?
17. It will fall 14, 17. One of those two.
Because it was it City of Death was the one they did.
Yeah, I think it was 17 then. I think it must have been.
My dear, no one is as stupid as he seems. He was there. I don't know if Tom's been at the season 12, 14. No, was it 12, 6? What ones has it been out?
12,
14,
12, 18, 14, then 17. It was 12, 18, 17, then 14, or whatever way it is.
It's 13, 15, 16 left.
Yes.
Key to Time, the second season of him and Liz that is perfect, and the shit that ends with Invasion of Time.
Right, yes.
That's what we got. Because we're due a Peter season, because
we are.
Colin's done.
Colin and...
Well, technically he's got one more to do, because we should have Colin Baker just appear at the very end of the season 21 screening. He should just come in and go, is it my turn yet?
Change, my dear.
We've got season 25 to do.
Yeah, with Sylv, and then he's done. Yeah.
And then we've only got 7 and 11 for
Pertwee.
For Pertwee. I know you called him Peter. For John.
For John Peter. Yeah.
2 more for Will, old Billy Humhay, and
2?
2 more, yeah, because we've got season 2. So we've got 2 more.
Season 1, season 3. Oh, I forget they were longer, weren't they? But
yeah, and technically season 4 would be a
beginning
Pat one.
Season 4,
That's
and
going to be the numbering.
that would be basically the Colin and Peter issue of 21. Half the first 2 stories, I think, were Hartnell and then
it
Troughton.
was Thingy and then 10th Planet,
Yeah.
and then it was
And then
Troughton
it was
the rest of
Power
season
and
4.
da-da-da. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be that. So that's because obviously in the States it's Doctor season 1. So you've got Tom Baker season 1.
Tom
so
Baker
how are you going to
season
do? Are you going to do William Hartnell season 4, or are you going to do Patrick Troughton season 1? That's a whole especially because I think, and the same with Colin. Like, that's technically a Peter season.
Yeah,
Would
who
you
knows?
I want a Peter season, and I don't want season 21. And 20 would be a nice, especially if it come out this year.
Of course, because it's the
Anniversary year. We get an anniversary.
Anniversary
box
is the
set,
key word.
because we've had the 10th one. We haven't had 20, and the only other one to do would be season 1.
Right.
For me, arguably this year.
But again, the 50th or 60th of Marco Polo is next year, so save that for next year. Save it for next
Discover
year.
it. Find it by then, guys.
Yes, do it.
Russell will find it. Russell will hunt you down.
Whether you like it or
Or
not. Yeah.
But yeah, if it's 5 Doctors, we have to go, because that would be, it's 90 minutes, like, because it was Sea Devils was a 6-parter, and a lot of people were like, I've not sat down and watched it in ages, and yes, it is long and boring, but it's a lot more fun when you've got the interactive experience of, because Abominable Snowmen was quite long, and I don't know about you, but when we was watching it, especially like in the last couple of episodes, where like in the slower bits, I was kind of like, because it goes really dark in the BFI as well, and you're all huddled together for warmth because you're all squashed in like penguins.
Yeah, for warmth. Yeah,
And
it was
like,
small and tense and crowded and rammed. Yeah.
After all, why not? That's how it was started. And then we could, if that happens, we should take our season 19 box sets and get them signed by Peter Davison.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. But until then,
fair enough.
this has sort of been a bit of a catch-up thing. I know we said
A ramble.
I'm going to the cinema tomorrow, but I don't know what I'm seeing.
You actually don't know what you're seeing.
No.
What are your options? Or what is your gut telling you?
Because I've got a Cineworld Unlimited card.
I
As
wouldn't
do
know.
you.
I don't know. How do I know?
As does my mate Connor, who, by the time this comes out, you won't mind, but he's currently on a date watching Cocaine Bear, but he's gone to Odeon, and I said, hats off to you for paying full price at a cinema that you're not a member at, when you could have just gone to Cineworld.
Okay. Each their own.
He won't mind that, because one, he
doesn't
listen to it, 2, this comes out 3 days after it happens, so it's fine.
Fair enough. Best of luck.
He's seen Cocaine Bear at the Odeon Lux.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Travel back in time and go find him and say hi. But because I was talking to Lara, this is a bit like philosophical about parenting and stuff like that. But like the whole thing is, it's always like, always make time for yourself still, because you're not just parents, you're also like
individuals,
like
human beings.
You're still individuals, and we're also still a couple that hasn't really gone out.
Yeah,
like
as individuals. Yeah,
because she was like, it's weird that like you used to just go to the cinema and
all the time,
and I was like, if I could now, like I would.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Also,
I totally get that.
One, I wouldn't do it all the time because, like, I would do it for the films I knew she wouldn't want to see. But also, like, I can't justify just going out and going, well,
I'm going out for 2 hours.
You watching for 2 hours, like,
which
isn't
of course.
fair.
No.
Just as I know that she wouldn't do it the other way around, and I was like, and plus there's
one day that will happen to me. I know.
Yeah, and plus there's a lot of films that like I want to see.
Yeah.
But if I don't have time, I don't have time. Like, it's one of the things that, like, if it was a thing of, like, because she probably won't see Cocaine Bear, but if you went, let's go and see it. If I didn't have a kid, then I'd go and see it.
Yeah,
but, like,
of course. You can't.
It's not that I can't, because, like, she's like, I don't stop you doing it. But it's like, yeah, but also, like, I can't take the piss. Because, like, I do this, which is a thing, like, as much as it's not a massive thing in terms of I'm still in the house, but, like, we're up here for an hour. I've still got to edit it and stuff. And I feel subconsciously guilty of doing that because, it's that kind of thing, yes.
Yeah.
But no, because I was talking to her, I was like, we've still got to see Ant-Man because she's still committed to the MCU films because we saw Wakanda. Our last film together was Wakanda Forever. And we only saw that because it was kind of like we kind of got to go see it. So we literally just went.
Ditched your plans. See ya.
We literally went and saw it, but like we've seen. She didn't see Love and Thunder or Doctor Strange at the cinema. Obviously, I did because I saw them with you. Like when I've got the thing of like I'm off, I can see it early. Then obviously that makes more sense than like going late, like now.
During the day and during the evening.
There's
of course,
routine,
yeah.
there's bedtime, there's dinners, and there's actually spending time together. So I can't just keep. But I was like, we still need to see Ant-Man because she's not fussed about Avatar. But I'm like, I'm curious. I want to see it. Like, I'm not eyeing out my way, but I'll see it. If not, I'll watch it when it comes on Disney Plus. So there's that. Cocaine Bear, I am fucking desperate to see. Creed 3, and she's like, I haven't really watched him. Like, I've only kind of. She's watched me watch the second one. Like, because I watched the first and second one back to back, because all the Rockies are on Prime for
I think.
the new one, but I think the OG ones, like, the Rocky ones come off. Because I've only seen 1, 2, 3, and like half an hour of Balboa.
Well, so you've not watched... Oh, no, to be fair, I can't. I've seen up
the
to Rocky
death
1
in
and 4.
I've seen the fourth one.
I've seen Rocky 1 through 4.
That's when he dies, isn't he?
Rocky 1 through 4. I think I did start the 5th one and never finished it.
I never finished 5th, and I
hadn't seen Balboa.
Balboa.
No.
I saw about half an hour of that on ITV2 about 7 years ago.
All right. Very specific. You remembered.
But yeah, where I'm rewatching stuff also as I'm listening to it. Like, so I'd rewatched Creed in anticipation for that. And I've rewatched. My next thing is the Planet of the Apes ones, like the new trilogy, because obviously next year we get the
next one. Yeah,
which is cool. But yeah, I was like that.
My next rewatch is going to be John Wick.
I need to rewatch it. Yeah, because I was like, because I forgot that John Wick come out. So yeah, so it was Ant-Man, Cocaine Bear, Creed 3. I was like, John Wick, I completely forgot was out at the end of the month.
So did
I thought it was May, because it was.
Yeah,
I thought it was,
yeah.
It was originally.
I think it was meant to be May last year.
Yeah,
originally.
That's the thing. It was meant to be back to back with It was meant to be the same day as Matrix.
Matrix. Oh my god.
So
how many episodes ago was that?
But she was like, I've only seen, because she watched 3 first, and I was like, in terms of scale and like quality, 3 is the best made one, but my favourite is 2. So we started watching 1 when that was on Prime, but that went off. But I think 1 and 2 are on Prime, so we might try and do that and then see the 4th one, because she loved 3.
Yeah.
Because she was like, that's proper, like, it's kick-ass, but it's a lot of fun. Like, it's, that kind of stuff. And Shazam, she's like, never seen the first one. But she's obviously, like, you've had conversations with her, she's not big on committing to the DCEU. Maybe
I don't blame her, though.
Maybe I might get that out of her once the DCEU as we know
it's
it ends.
ended.
I'll be like, at least watch these 13, because you
look at these planets. Ignore the shit over here.
Yeah, ignore these two. Smash them, stop them from smashing into each other.
Yeah.
Like, if I can say, because she's watched all the MCU movies, apart from Eternals is the only one she's not finished, but she's seen bits of that. Like, she's watched Love and Thunder and Multiverse of Madness on Disney Plus with me. So, yes. What am I getting at? Yeah, like, if I can go, like, just watch these and then
ignore the crap you don't.
Because
really
I want
to
to at least wanted to experience this is when it happens and it doesn't work, but also it's a shame because there's characters in there that we enjoy. That
should have had so much more out of them.
Like, I was really looking forward to Shazam too, but also I'm like, what's the point of me looking forward to it when it might not even be coming?
Exactly, yeah.
But I will still see it because we saw an early screening of Shazam 1. So we should go and see it.
And it changed my opinion. Yeah, it was one of the few positives of that universe.
Yes. And hopefully the second one does it as well. But yeah, there's that. The 65 comes out in 3 days.
Jurassic Park in space.
In space, but it's actually just prehistoric Earth, and I love it. I love Adam. Adam Driver with a gun. Adam Driver with a gun, and I'm in.
Young Professor Snape with a gun.
You can drown us out now because we are officially going to say thank you very much for listening to this out of drivel and a bit of a catch up. I know we promised more spoiler stuff, but depending on what I see,
next week. Yeah.
Depending on what I see tomorrow, it will be either Creed or Ant-Man that we'll talk about more in depth, and we'll go into other stuff and we'll talk more Mandalorian.
As it happens.
Into that, and
kind of round up Last of Us.
You can do Last of Us.
Yeah, round up Last of Us.
Because once it's all out and once I got paid, I'm going to pay for a pass and
just binge it.
Maybe House of the Dragon first, and then do Last of Us. Just so then I'm all caught up.
Fair enough.
We'll quickly look at the Cineworld app. Is there anything else we should know about? Where can they send the emails?
nerdbiblecontact@gmail.com. Across all your multiverses.
Yes, and Pasty Sheep across Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And also,
keep an eye on the TikTok. Yes, more stuff will be out on the TikTok.
Can we just say, well done to the fact that Connor's video, I know I'm in it, but like the fact that my one fucked up, and then we were like, we'll do it again and we'll just film you. Once I figured out how to fix the sound. 14,000 views on Instagram. And we passed 1,000 views on TikTok.
Big up.
So far we're sitting at...
There's a future on TikTok.
1,500 odd views on TikTok for 2 videos isn't bad.
Not bad at all.
We will be... I know we've said like we want to do like the Welcome to the Channel sort of channel update thing. That will hopefully be definitely before our birthday of the channel, but like hopefully in the next couple of months because we want to do that. Basically, the long and the short of it is, short form stuff will be on the TikTok, but will be across Instagram and Facebook and YouTube because the YouTube short because I put it up on YouTube and that got 300 odd views and spiked our viewing hours. That went up because we need 1,000 viewing hours to get paid.
Algorithm
essentially.
Oh,
and
okay. Ooh.
basically all that kind of stuff. You'll see it more over the because I know like it's March. Like we should be doing it with like into the third month, but also timing wise
Quarter of the year,
stuff like that. And stuff will be set up as summer comes because I'm away for 2 weeks in like 1 week in June, 1 week in July. So we'll have set up stuff for that.
Fair enough.
You'll undoubtedly have time off or something.
I'm away the first weekend of. I'm going to Germany.
Nice.
That week of June. So yeah. But other than that,
stuff will eke back in more as we do more stuff. Connor has an upcoming appearance on
the Silver Screen podcast with Mr. Michael Wilson. We've had.
Are you allowed to say what you're talking about, or you're not? Oh no, he's announced it, so you can say it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because he tagged you in it.
Ghostface, the Scream movie number 5, the one that came out last year.
So you've done Scream and Scream 5.
Yes,
with him. So
with him.
You've got to commit and do the rest of the Screams.
Scream 7 got greenlit. I sent you that article today. Scream 7 got announced, so we might in a year's time.
But you've got to review all of them with Michael, which isn't a bad thing because it's a lot of fun for you, and it's nice for you to do something on your own and actually just be like. Hopefully you plugged us at the end.
Yeah.
Good.
Don't worry. Yes.
Yeah, so I forgot. Yeah, so Scream 6, Scream 6, Champions that I really want to see.
That looks fun actually.
Dungeons and Dragons is in 24 days.
I saw that's April, not March still.
That's beginning of April. Yeah. And that's so far
so far
all that I care about on the coming soon bit.
I just do not like